Step Down Anecdotes Number 1, Unwanted Visitors. Hello again. Thank you for being here with me once more. I hope you are very well today. I am Marie. This information can be seen as science fiction, or as the viewer sees best, and I post it for entertainment purposes only. Still, I take my information very seriously, and for whoever has eyes to see. Introduction to this new section of subjects and videos on my YouTube channel, where I will be narrating the experiences and the anecdotes of non-human Lyrians visiting Earth as step-downs, especially the ones from the Taygetans as they are the closest to me, and my own as I was once a step-down myself. As I have described so many times, extraterrestrials come in countless shapes, races, and types, go from those who look human and are virtually identical to the ones found on Earth, to those who are so different that they are completely incomprehensible, to the point where their mere existence challenges even the most advanced biological science, and all the gradients and variants between those two extremes. Most extraterrestrials who visit Earth are those who look like Earth humans, or at least look alike enough to be taken or misidentified as one, and those are the ones that belong to the Lyrian group of star races. Among those Lyrian races and cultures, the extraterrestrials who are by far the ones who visit Earth the most and as step-downs are the ones from Alpha Centauri, the Alphratans, simply because their genetics and their culture are the ones closest to Earth, because the vast majority of Alphratan people have their origins on that planet. Most New Age authors describe human-looking extraterrestrials as looking like Nordic people, with few variants, yet in reality that does not matter, as anyone could be a step-down extraterrestrial, regardless of how he or she looks, what race, or what skin color they may have. And as I have said before, they are everywhere on Earth, doing their best to pass as simple humans, as common folks, and easy to confuse with any other. Detecting them is tricky because many are very good at blending in with the normal population, yet some are less experienced and therefore can be easier to detect. This means that those off neighbors you may have, or the strange man or woman tending the library, may indeed be from off-planet, even though they may have a life down there, as it may be only part of their blending and theater, as part of their cover. Yet many, if not most, do develop a real life on Earth, with real friends and family, a job and a home, but they usually keep their true origin a secret. Governments and their agencies know all about this, but they do their best to keep it a secret from the general population, while also discrediting all information about them, even using science fiction and media to distract the minds of the people, and make them think of all this as simple entertainment, for example as we can see in the movies, like in The Men in Black, which is nothing more than a campaign to discredit the existence of the real Men in Black. Who are those agents who are assigned to regulate and contain any information about extraterrestrials, especially those with tangible proof, and also are the ones who are tasked with controlling and monitoring the population of non-humans on Earth, Lyrians, and not. The biggest difference between a human who was born and raised on Earth, and a step-down who is only trying to blend in, is their general attitude, behavior, ethics, and values, among other details that give them away, but in general, it is their mentality, and the way they interpret everyday life and its problems, which is also what usually gives them away as non-humans. And when things don't go well for them, they may be detected, taken into custody and other worse things, especially when they don't manufacture their human papers carefully enough, or manage to get real ones somehow. So, yes, many step-downs can get, or do get into serious trouble. End of my introduction to this new section of Swaruu Official. Let us move to the anecdote for today, the first one of the series, and one of my own. Soon after my mother and I arrived on Earth, she managed to find herself a simple job as a sports trainer coach, which allowed us to move into a small flat in a large apartment building near the outskirts of a very large city on Earth, which I'd rather not say which one. At that time I was like 6 or 7 years old. It was a small flat, but very modern because the apartment building was almost brand new at the time. It was tiny, but clean and comfortable, and it was on the 3rd floor. One afternoon we went out together, and we had a great time shopping for food. Then we walked around with our shopping bags while eating strawberry ice cream, and when it was over we couldn't resist the temptation to buy some new clothes, a couple of dresses and some sports sneakers for me as my feet no longer could fit in my old ones. Our flat was not far from the shopping mall, so we walked with all our shopping bags back home. I remember that it was late autumn back then, and warm yellow sun rays gave us warmth while we walked past the trees outside, while they dropped their orange leaves on us below. Everything was well, and everything was calm. When we entered our flat, we changed into something comfortable, and I started to help my mom with dinner, although our bellies were full of ice cream. I helped my mom setting the table, and then we sat down to have a wonderful meal. We washed the dishes and put them away, and then we sat down in the living room to rest from a long day when someone started to knock at our door. We didn't want to open because we had enough of humans for the day. If you are not from Earth, and many times even if you are, you do need a lot of alone time to recharge your energy. This is mostly because you go about absorbing the vibe of everyone around you and it gets tiresome, as it drains your energy, especially when you are doing your best to keep the facade, the illusion that you are one of them. So, my mom simply told me not to move or make any noise, and to keep quiet, and the humans would simply go away and leave us alone. But they did not. The minutes passed and the humans kept knocking at our door, even harder. And this started to make my mom very uneasy and worried, and logically I started to feel afraid because of her reactions. The humans started to knock very hard as the minutes went past, and my mother was starting to get very worried. We saw movement through the slit under the front door and we could see that there were at least 2 people there knocking insistently, now for over 30 minutes. We saw them like trying to look under the door, or that is what it looked like, so my mother in anguish pulled me behind the dark blue sofa and asked me to keep quiet. "Why don't they go away, why?" she said, by now terribly worried. And then the people knocking at the door started talking. They started to say that it was important and that we should open the door. By then I felt so scared that I wanted to throw up, and my mom told me that I should control myself because it was not the time for that. Not the time. Then the people at the door started talking to us again in a demanding tone. And they said, "Please open the door, we know you are in there." And then my mother started trembling and said, "Oh, no, they know we are here. Why do they know we are here? I didn't see anyone follow us in here. How do they know that?" Then my mom asked me if I had seen anyone follow us or near us as we entered the flat, and I said no, moving my head, while really worried. Then my mom continued whispering, and said, "Then they must have some kind of advanced surveillance. This is horrible, they are on to us." She crawled across the floor and fetched her purse, took out a small oval-shaped black object which she opened. She then removed the little tray with makeup it had inside, and pressed her finger to the fingerprint reading device in it. "I am calling for our Susie starship to come to fetch us. This is not right, not right. They must be agents." A small hologram appeared over the device with a Susie-class starship taking off and indicating an ETA, or estimated time of arrival of 15 minutes, as it was far and hidden from human sight. The knocking continued, and even harder, as they said, "Open the door, we know you are in there, it is very important." My mom jumped and hid her communication device, which was disguised as a makeup powder kit for girls. I started crying, so my mom put her hand over my mouth and quickly carried me as far back as possible, and into the bathroom, where she started to tell me that the government may have detected us, so we must prepare to run. The knocking continued. "Open the door, we know you are in there," they said. She opened the bathroom window and instructed me to be a strong girl for once, because this could be a case of life and death, and she asked me to stay there at the edge of the window. I kept sobbing while my mom hugged me. She said that she had no choice but to open the door, and I asked her, "Please don't open it, please don't open it." But she went on to instruct me that if I noticed that anything was wrong, I should jump to the top of those garbage containers below, and run as fast as I could to the park across the apartment buildings, and hide there until Susie came to pick me up. She said I must go even without her, and that I should understand that. I told my mom, "But please no, it's 2 stories high." The strong knocking continued. My mom then held my head with her 2 hands, and said, "It will be far worse if you are taken. You are a strong girl, you can make the jump and run to the park across. Remember to hide in those tall bushes there, those there, can you see them?" I nodded. "Stay there until Susie comes for you. It shouldn't be long now." Of course, I was terrified and I was crying and crying as I saw my mom leave me there at the edge of the bathroom window and walking to the apartment's door. My mom bravely opened the door, and she saw a young couple standing there. My mom timidly asked them what was going on, and they said, "Good evening, miss. You left your keys hanging at your door outside. Someone might take them." As always, thank you for watching my video, and for liking, sharing, and subscribing for more. It helps this channel grow a lot. And I hope to see you here next time. With much love, your friend, Marie Swaruu.